Hey, I'm JR.
And I'm Mike from the 18 Over Par with Mike and JR podcast.
Welcome to Season 5 of the pod, where we'll continue exploring the sights, stories, and sounds of golf on the prairies, where you'll find some of the most golf courses per capita of anywhere in the world. And beer. Lots of beer.
That's right, JR. More beer.
It's the 18 Over Par podcast with Mike and JR.
You suck, you jackass.
Welcome to 18 Over Par with Mike and JR, proudly presented by Bryce Matlashewski, who is an investment advisor with Endeavor Wealth Management, part of IA Private Wealth, and a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund. You can contact Bryce at 204-515-3446. I'm JR, he's Mike, and today, our PGA Tour and Live Golf correspondent, Adam "AWOC" Walker, returns to run down all the odds for the 2025 U.S. Open Golf Championship at Oakmont Country Club in Oakmont, Pennsylvania. We are in Studio A. It is our U.S. Open special. We are outdoors. We are having some beverages. What do you have there, Mike?
I got a Stonecutter Sour by Namesake Brewery. So it's pretty good. Getting into the sours, warming me up a bit because it's a little cool outside.
Yeah, a little chilly. And I'm assuming you have the weather for Oakmont.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that a little later in the show.
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't have to do that right now. And I have a Final Draft Lager by Barnhammer. What are you drinking, AWOC?
Hey, I got a Tyskie, I believe, or a Tyskie maybe. Seems to be a Polish beer. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tried
It's inoffensive.
Yeah.
Good Monday night
I tried
beer.
to get some Yingling. I don't
Oh.
think that's how you say it, but that's a big Pennsylvania beer.
Ah, okay.
But couldn't find that, so I found some Eastern European beers.
All right.
Because Pennsylvania's fairly
Eastern European?
Eastern European.
Yeah,
Well, I
why
am
not?
Romanian, so
Because that's where Oakmont is.
Really?
yeah, I'm a gypsy.
Right. Right.
I don't know if this guy's a gypsy. Maybe you can elaborate on it, Mike. That's Bryce Matlashewski. We'll give him a shout-out. He is an investment advisor with Endeavor Wealth Management, part of IA Private Wealth, and a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund. You can contact Bryce at 204-515-3446. You can also check him out in our link tree. Just go to our Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, X. Click on that bio and we're up there.
I believe he's Ukrainian/Scottish.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, with a last name like that.
Yeah, is he in town? We never know. World traveler.
Jet
Maybe,
setter.
maybe, he won't. Maybe he's in Oakmont right now.
Could be.
Could
anywhere.
be. I don't know where he is. I got to get him a T-shirt, and I
Where
should
in
have brought
the
it.
world is
because I drive
Bryce
by his house.
Matlashewski? Yeah, we got T-shirts. If you want a T-shirt, DM us as well. We got some other info in our link tree. Got some tournaments coming up. The HBH Charity Classic. There's more information about that in support of Cancer Care Manitoba. Also looking for 2 people. Hit us up in the DMs. 2 people to play the Stars Golf Tournament. That is coming up end of the month, Monday, June 30th. It's at Glendale. Get lunch, 18 holes, cart dinner prizes, draws. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on for that tournament. So if you want in on it,
Who are
come
you?
play. Frenchie.
Who are you playing
Frenchie
with?
and I. Frenchie
That
and
would
I.
be a fun day.
Yeah.
That'd be real fun. You're not going to be walking out of there.
Sure won't. Uber's going to be on the speed dial.
Yeah, maybe a Schwitz after.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. I like that.
Maybe some pickleball in the back courts there.
And maybe some pickle beer.
Yeah,
If you want in
that
on the
too.
pickle beer, you can hear about it in our last interview with Ryan McMillan from Elmhurst. Talks about the pickle beer, which is, well, it was brought to him at Niagara. That's how we found out about it. And I was at Niagara yesterday,
Holy
but it got
man.
very wet. But I had a Terry James instead. So Terry James, member at Niagara, dentist, sponsor of Golf Manitoba events, the match play, as well as the Winnipeg Sports Talk.
Congrats to Jordy Lutz.
Yeah, big winner. Also on the pod.
Match play. What's in a Terry James?
Terry James is an old-fashioned with a splash of Grand Marnier. They did a fantastic job.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Clubhouse is in fantastic shape at Niagara.
Had a couple of those when we were there.
Yeah, I think 4.
Yeah. Got zooted.
Each Uber on the speed dial. But let's talk U.S. Open.
Zooted.
We got
Yeah,
we got
Uber.
the bets open here. Bunch of these betting sites. Unfortunately, mine's kicking me out. But I
What,
also have 365 on there. Also got the cool bet going.
What tournament are we talking about today?
It's the U.S. Open to match your hat. And do you also have a
Is it
pullover
tennis?
or a sweater? Yeah, it's the U.S. Open Golf
You
Championship.
guys, when you go on Google, you just
Yeah.
search U.S. Open. The tennis comes up first.
Oh, it
So,
does.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
I
it
was
is.
gonna mention that.
Like,
And I was
this
like,
stuff doesn't sound right. I don't know any of these names, but I had to switch over
David
to the golf.
Hearn? That was an inside joke.
That doesn't
was an
make
inside
sense for our
joke.
listeners. They don't get that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's for
Anyways,
us.
Moving on.
Solely for us.
It's not even like a top 5 sport. Like if you search U.S. Open, there's tennis, and then there's like, I don't even know what the next
What
one
else?
There's
else
more
you got?
tennis. Yeah.
rugby or something.
The U.S. Open of rugby.
I don't think that
Famously.
makes
Mike's been
sense.
using too much
Popular
Chat
event.
GPT.
Yeah.
I think so.
Messing with you. Google doesn't
Scrambled his
understand it
brain.
anymore. Yeah. Can't think for himself anymore. But some interesting odds out there, and I'm pretty sure you probably saw it too. Something come up in the old Instagram feeds about how if you're betting on Scotty Scheffler this season, he outranked the S&P 500 or stock. So if you want to learn
Wow.
more about that, you can talk with Bryce Malashewski,
Yeah.
who is an investment advisor. But that's pretty impressive. That you bet on Scotty, he's doing all right. And this time around,
S&P's
what we're
been
seeing
down.
is under. Yeah, it's been up and down all around. Scotty Scheffler's been pretty damn consistent. He is under 3-1, like less than 3-1 odds to win this thing. And I'm sure people
Yeah.
are still going to put money on him.
Well, I mean, it's justified, right? He's won 3 out of his last 4 events, and the one that he didn't win, he came in 4th. So Scotty's as hot as you're going to get, and he was already the best golfer on the planet. So when the best golfer gets hot, who's going to beat him, right? I don't like to bet on guys at that low of a number. It's just there's 150 other guys at that golf tournament, and so much could go wrong, especially at a place like Oakmont, who is, U.S. Open is always going to be a hard course, but Oakmont is notoriously difficult. Last time they were there for the U.S. Open, 2016, Dustin Johnson wins at -4. I think there's only 3 other guys that were even under par. I expect the same thing this time. So Scotty's a favorite, but, who knows once you get out there.
Yeah, and I've been seeing some of the videos coming out of the rough and just how thick it is. And yet these guys, even at the Canadian Open this past weekend, that rough was thick. And these dudes still getting it out. Like it boggles my mind because I play in, if I'm in the fescue, I can still at least, punch it out at Southwood. Mm-hmm. And these guys are putting it within 15 feet of the pin from 150 yards out. Like, it's insanity. So I guess that's why it's their job.
And there's going to be a lot of guys in the rough because these fairways are super narrow. There's places that are only, 20 yards wide, 25 yards wide at the landing point, surrounded by, bunkers everywhere at this place. They don't make it easy. It's all, 7,300 yards, but it's a par 70. So you're dealing with a bunch of really long holes. If you end up in the rough, if you got these 600-yard par 5s, if you're in the rough on your first shot, you're going to be in real tough to get onto the green. And the greens aren't easy either. These are big, fast greens, and they'll roll out. The way they've kind of redid it a little bit is they've flattened out the sides of the green, so they're going to roll right out, maybe into bunkers that are beside the green.
And a lot of elevation changes too.
Yeah, and the way it shapes the fairway, so it's going to run your ball right off into that rough if you land it in the wrong spot. So yeah, deceptively difficult. You look out there, it's a big, huge piece of property, but there's like no trees.
And there's no water either. Is
Yeah,
there?
no trees, no water,
yeah.
but just like super long rough, super difficult fairways and greens, like a true test.
I believe they had it at Fourth Line, virtual golf. We played the Ironman there, so from the tips, so as far back as you can play, firm fairways, hard greens, windy as hell, and yeah,
Sounds
I
like
remember it
tough.
being a tough course. I forget what we came in at. It was a 4-man scramble, and I think we came in at 8 under.
Well, it can't be that hard then.
No, I forget who it was. They were saying like they're predicting like an over par winner.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it's possible. The time before DJ, Cabrera won it, and he was over par. I think he was a +5. So very possible to have over par winner. You know, it depends on the weather, depends on a bunch of factors, but yeah. And you know, we've only talked about Scheffler so far, but the other guy that thrives in these hard golf courses and who's been, you know, really hot at all the majors is Bryson.
Defending champ.
Yeah, defending champ. And we saw when he won at Winged Foot, that was another that was notoriously difficult with really tough rough, really long, really hard to get out of. We found that he just hammer the ball as far as you can and then hammer it as hard as you can out of the rough and make your way to the green before everybody else.
Yeah, I've seen his number like go up.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if more people are putting money on Scotty than maybe I thought, but yeah, I've seen him for anywhere from plus 700 to, well, I got it here plus 750. So maybe not. And then wasn't there a boost? There's a cool bet boost. If you're cool
I saw
bet
there's
guys.
a Pat Mayo boost on there was up to plus 1,000. So 10-1. I mean, to me, it very much is going to come down to Scheffler and Bryson. It just seems to be shaping up that way. So, you know, you got Scheffler at 280 and Bryson at plus 1,000. You know, I'm probably leaning towards Bryson in that situation.
And where's Rory in this picture? Because for me, Rory McIlroy, he just seems disinterested in golf.
I think he won the Masters, and he's just like, it was a huge weight off his shoulders, and he's also just now he's kind of deflated a little bit. He's not chasing it the same way he was. Not to say he couldn't win, because he's always great at the U.S. Open, but I'm not looking at Rory this week.
No, he had, I think, a quad at the Canadian Open, didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
He's just battling out there.
Yeah, you go to tune into the Canadian Open on the weekend, and you're like, where's Rory? And I'm like, oh, you know, he missed the cut. Sorry.
Yeah, he's out.
Any concerns about Bryson's putting on these greens? You know, it's been a little bit inconsistent.
Yeah, Bryson's actually been a pretty decent putter lately. His trouble's been more the iron game, but putting, he's it's not pretty the way he putts, but it's effective. So I think he should be
much like yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't do anything the easy way, but you know, sometimes it gets results.
Any skins wins this year for playing men's night at Assiniboine?
Oh, hell no. No skins. No, the birdies have been tough to come by this year.
There's still time.
Oh, yeah, lots of time.
Still lots of time.
Still early.
And we also have we also have John Rahm up there as well, top 5 guy. He was in the mix, I believe, even tied for the lead of the PGA Championship.
Yep.
And fell off as it went on. He was missing putts, hitting some wayward shots, got himself into trouble, and left the door open for, you know, Scotty to win it.
Yeah, and he's got some kind of crazy streak going on Live. I think it's like 14 top 10s in a row or something like that. Wow. Yeah, he's been very consistent on the Live side of things. I think he's kind of back. Like, you know, we haven't really seen the best of John Rahm since he left the PGA Tour, but I feel like he's definitely up there. Like, if I were to look at, you know, we already talked about my top 2, but like if I was to look at the top 5 of guys that I really think could win this thing, John Rahm is definitely in there. Yeah,
and maybe we'll touch on the weather, Mike, if you got the weather in there.
Oh yeah, we always got the weather here.
Because that'll kind of make it interesting.
Abbreviated version.
That's fine.
But I think today they had some thunderstorm warnings today.
There was some inclement weather.
But Thursday through Sunday, you know, it said it was going to be humid, hot, and some chance of thunderstorms on the weekend. So that rain could come into play. Maybe make the greens a little bit easier because they're very fast, but it's going to make that rough a little bit more difficult.
Well, for those long bombers, if it's hot and humid, then that's going to play right into their hands, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe make it, of course, a bit shorter for them. So,
yeah, unless
guys
you're
like Bryson.
Unless you're over 200 pounds.
What's the math on that? What's the equation?
I won't share it. But I don't know. I don't like playing in the humid weather.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the humid weather either, but I mean, these guys are pros. They'll figure it out.
I don't think so.
There's a stat I saw come up on Golf Channel today. So I have Arcos, so the little GPS trackers that you screw into the grips of your clubs. Or you can actually get them built into your clubs, which is also kind of neat. I don't have those.
No free ads.
Splurge for that. Yeah, no free ads. And they came up, and based on the past U.S. Opens or championships played at Oakmont, for greens and regulation, all the pros are 50% or just over 50%, where they showed like a 10 to 15 handicapper, and based on the stats that Arcos takes in. Said 10 to 15 handicap for greens regulation, playing these conditions in Oakmont, how it's set up, about 25%. So there you go. So now you maybe kind of know how you would stack up against the pros if you're a 10 to 15 handicap.
Yeah.
You'd be looking at hitting a quarter of the greens in regulation.
Holy. And then 3-putting. At
Yeah,
least.
at least.
Well, they've also
minimum.
got the longest par 3 in major
Yeah,
history.
what is
They're
it?
over 300 yards.
Yeah.
So
You know what? And
getting onto that
it
one.
must have been that Oakmont that we played then for that tough one because it was a par 3 and we're like, well, why are we taking out driver on a par 3? What are we doing here? I mean, no shame to, folks who take out drive, taking out a driver at Assiniboine on hole number 8.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
At
Yeah, we've talked
240.
about hole 8. Yeah, the 230-yard.
Especially if you're going into that
Assiniboine.
strong north wind.
I did that.
You're taking the driver.
Not a week ago, I took out the driver on 8, and I came up short of the green. But it was decent. It was in line. But still, you have a real hard time at Oakmont getting onto the green in 1.
Yeah, and that's going to be. And I thought all the par 3s are really long.
Yeah, I believe they are.
Yeah, I thought they were. For fact checkers can check that out.
Yeah.
Can check that out for us. The other guy that I had in my top 5 and maybe a close second to that top 5, top 6 guy, Xander Schauffele and Colin Morikawa. I mean, maybe they can pull it all together this week. I kind of like their number, 22 or 25 to 1. If you kind of get them in there, maybe get a boost on them or something. Maybe not a bad thing to look at for an outright.
Yeah, Xander's definitely in my top 5 as well. He just seems to show up like he's always good at the U.S. Open. His finishes haven't been that great in the last few weeks, but he's a big hitter as well. So I definitely expect him to be contending again this week. So Schauffele's up there, probably my number 4 pick, I would say.
Is he one? Yeah, because we were talking a little bit before we came on about some of those top 10 or top 20 odds.
And he
if you
had
can
2
find a good
major
one-
wins last year. Like, don't forget,
Yeah.
Xander was kind of the hottest guy on the PGA Tour last year for a while.
Yeah, so it's not until this guy where you get, some odds where you can double your money for a top 20, which I usually like doing. That's Ludwig.
Yep,
Ludwig Oberg.
that's my
He's
last
kind of been-
guy
he
in
is,
my
yeah.
top 5.
He's kind of been, would inconsistent be the right word? I don't know if he's been inconsistent this year, but
Yeah,
he just seems like he just kind of middles away and he's maybe a top 20 guy, maybe a top 30 guy some weeks.
he's a guy that steps up at the big tournaments, though. He always seems to appear on that leaderboard, and he's a big hitter as well. So he'll, I expect him to compete here too.
And another guy rounding it out for me, unless you wanted to touch, no, okay, was...
I have nothing to say.
Oh, well,
I'm just kidding.
he's already scratching out his notes that he copy and
Just
pasted
David
from
Hearn
chat.
over and over
David
again.
Hearn.
Who's rounding it out? Who's your rounder?
Joaquin Neiman.
Oh, yeah.
And we've talked about him every episode
And he does
for our
nothing.
gambling guides.
He's never there.
He hasn't won yet. But on Live, he's probably been the most consistent guy.
Yeah, won again this past week. So certainly expected to compete. It's a little bit of a different golfer. Like he's got an interesting swing. Like really loads up and fires it. Kind of keeps it a little lower on the ball flight. So we'll see kind of how that plays here. But he's probably one of the top guys on Live.
Yes, yeah. But even then, you still have Bryson and John Rahm
Yeah, exactly.
in front of him. Sam the dog. Oh, she's got her monkey out here and she's ripping it apart. Good for her. She's ripping apart some pillows earlier.
Doing what she loves.
Yeah, just living the dream, stomping on the flowers. Like, fuck, just what an idiot. All right. Studio A. You never know what's going to happen at Studio A.
We're outside. The birds are chirping.
Yeah. Have you put any shekels on anything so far, Mike?
Not yet.
I like to
no.
put them in on Monday. That's usually when I like to do it, and then maybe mid-round.
I got to top up
I'll
my
do something.
account. 'Cause
Oh.
there's nothing in there.
You burn it all playing the slots on your phone.
Yes.
Yeah, greedy granny got the best of you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I actually got Roller Coaster Tycoon on my phone.
Oh.
So I sometimes, put a big deposit, like a few $1,000s to get those nice roller coasters to keep
that makes sense.
the visitors
Yeah,
happy.
you got to
So-
keep the patrons happy.
Build a coaster to nowhere and just launch them off. You don't do that?
Oh, that's rude.
Yeah, okay.
That's rude. I don't do that on the paid version.
I see.
Killing those NPCs. Isn't that what it is? Non-playable characters?
Mm-hmm.
Look at me. I'm hip with it.
Yeah. Is Shoffley still, you mentioned Shoffley, is he still recovering from his rib injury?
I think he's healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any indication.
Oh, do you have an
that he's
injury
injured.
report there, Mike?
Just on Shoffley.
Just on John. Okay.
Just on Shoffley.
Is he playing the Callaway Elite Drivers? Or driver?
I
I still have that demo in my bag. I've been getting the notice from Southwood to return my demo. I haven't done it yet. But I've been playing the Callaway Elite, and it's
Gotta bring Johnny
nice.
back on. He was the weather guy last time, but he's the equipment guy. He knows what the players are playing.
oh yeah, he's got it all down.
Oh yeah, Johnny always knows.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know what guys have in the bag from week to
He
week.
knew a lot about transmission lines.
Yeah, that's his specialty, but not very applicable to the golf podcast.
Okay. I didn't
Well, you never know.
There is a freeway that goes through the middle of Oakmont.
Is there actually?
Yeah, and they have
Okay.
a overpass for carts and I guess walkers. Not you, but like people going to the tournament. Yeah, it's like right in the middle of the course, and they have to cross like a freeway.
Do you got to hit the ball over like at the KP rail bridge kind of
Oh
thing?
yeah,
Or-
the killer.
Oh, I see.
No, but that did come up on the interweb.
Yeah, what's the Instagram account? I wish we could shout
right.
it out here.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's called like
bad course design.
like
that.
whole
designs.
nightmares or something
Yeah.
like that.
Design
but they talked
nightmares.
very
We're just-
highly
we're
of
just
it. They
throwing them
loved
all
it.
under the
They're
bus,
like,
yeah.
not a nightmare, not a nightmare. We like this one.
Yeah. What is it? I'm gonna see if I
It
can
is a
find
fun
it
hole.
right here. I'm looking at some. Yeah, I can't find it. Anyway, Mike, you haven't mentioned Shane Lowry, Mike.
Yeah, so he's on my list.
Okay.
You know,
He was actually, I believe, in the top 5 back in 2016 when DJ won. So
Yeah,
there's
so-
a little connection there.
so stop reading my list here.
Sorry,
I'm
looking
just
over your
kidding.
shoulder.
But yeah, he actually led after 3 rounds at Oakmont, and apparently finished as runner-up in 2016.
There you go.
But yeah, he's
I think he's
he's
tied
been
with Jim Furyk.
lots of top 25 finishes in recent. Was he 13th at the Canadian Open? But he's a good putter, right? He's
Yeah,
always
he's
up
a-
there.
he's a good putter.
At the Masters, obviously. So I don't. It's tough to say. It's been a while since he's closed the tournament out, but he's plus.
Seems hungry though. Like he's been playing
Yeah.
well for so long. You got to think that win is coming.
So I don't know. Maybe a top 5 guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or outright.
Yeah, why not?
Paying plus
Put a few
4,500.
shekels on it. You never know.
Yeah, throw a couple kumquats on that.
What is a kumquat? Do we have?
I think it's a fruit.
I believe it's a fruit.
Adam, any fruit? Did you have any fruit today?
Yeah, I had a kiwi today.
Oh,
Pretty
okay.
exotic
Kiwi
for
guy.
me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kiwi
I don't know.
guy.
I'm not sure. I had to sit and think about it.
After Fox there or won the Canadian Open, you're like, I'm gonna get a kiwi.
Yeah, that must be it. There's a subconscious thing I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Oh, see, and I got pineapple today. Where's pineapple from? I don't know. I was thinking about getting kiwi though. Interesting. Maybe it is a Ryan Fox thing. Well, he's in the tournament.
Yeah, I wouldn't be on Ryan Fox just because sometimes when a guy wins, they.
Well, I'm sure he was partying it up. and
Yeah,
he had to do a bunch of
exactly.
media in New Zealand, and
It's a
the
little
time
let down
difference.
after. But the guy who's in a playoff with Sam Burns, he's probably extremely hungry, and he's been, a really good putter. He's the best putter on tour
Is he really?
statistically
Wow.
this year. And he's a guy that for a while kind of looked like he was entering that the upper echelon of kind of the star golfers, but had basically like a bad almost 2 years. But he's coming back around. So
75-1.
you got 75 to
Yeah, I
1
got
over there.
75
Like that's
to 1.
I like that.
That's
Like,
a good number.
I really like that number. I think he could compete. But, I wouldn't want to go too much lower than that. But another guy that's kind of in that range that I wanted to mention was Ben Griffin, who not really a household name,
No.
but he's just been like extremely hot, like playing really well. He won the Zurich, the team event with Andrew Novak, and he had been playing really well up till then. And then he just won the Charles Schwab. So he's got 2 wins in the last few weeks. he actually stepped up at the PGA Championship with a tied for 8th finish. So you might not know too much about Ben Griffin, but if you've been following closely, you would know Ben Griffin. So that's another name that you might want to take a look at.
If you know, you know.
That's a good name.
And another one close to Ben Griffin on the odds board. Actually, his number just moved. Harris English. So Ben Griffin and Harris English 75-1.
Well, when you look at
with
like
Sam Burns on
difficult U.S. Open, winged foot, when Bryson won, Harris English was right behind him and actually kind of got screwed on losing a ball in the deep rough. Because if you remember, that was kind of the COVID time and there was no spectators there. So, you know, you got this 5-inch rough and he hits a tee shot, just goes into the rough like normal, and nobody could find it. It was just too deep. Nobody was around where the ball went in. And so he kind of got screwed, but he's been playing okay.
Yeah.
And he's got a good short game. So, you know, and a big enough hitter that he could contend. You know, pretty big number, probably not going to win, but I am interested by him.
And into the Canadians, we got 4. Hopefully maybe there's one more, but it looks like we got 4 Canadians in the tournament. Corey Connors, Nick Taylor, Mac Hughes, and Pendrith in there.
Yeah.
As well. Out of the odds makers are saying Corey Connors maybe the top Canadian, but on Cool Bet, Pendrith had a pretty good number as a top Canadian. Not mad at that number. I think he was coming in at plus 240. So
yeah, Pendrith is playing well, and we mentioned it before. He's a big hitter.
Yeah,
like really big off the tee. So he's the kind of guy that could compete here. It'll give him a bit of an advantage, I would think.
Is that what we're thinking? Is it? I guess you probably will have to have an all-around game to win a major, but is this going to favor the long hitters again?
I think. Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's almost a cutoff. Like you've got to be able to hit it a certain distance, or you're just not going to be able to get it to the green. You know, in the number of strokes that you want to, but the putting is going to be very difficult here as well. So that is something that could kind of play if somebody goes in and it's just lights out putting. Like we saw in 2016, Kevin Na was up on the scoreboard, and he's not a big hitter, but he was a great putter. So yeah, maybe you want to take a flyer on Mackenzie Hughes, who has always been a really great putter. Maybe, and he played pretty well at the Canadian Open.
Yeah, he was
so
suffering.
He
had an illness
going on.
He had an illness though. I think
He
on his last
an
day
illness.
he said he was. Yeah, well, he said on the last day, so that's why he was fighting something. But hopefully, you know, he's healthy now.
So I think he had one really low round at the Canadian Open there. So that's really good. Another excellent putter is Denny McCarthy, and his number, like, he's way down there because he's not a big hitter, but he is accurate off the tee. He's very accurate off the tee, and he's a good putter. So that's another just kind of interesting name.
I heard the greens will be rolling at 14.5 stims.
Yeah, that's fast.
Very fast.
That is fast.
Yeah, there was some quotes from past professionals, but I think it was Trevino said if he two putts, he knew he was moving up the leaderboard. That's what he said.
Well, I saw some old quotes like Jeff Ogilvy had said, I think it's like playing the hardest hole you've ever played and then doing it 18 times. So it's just, there's going to be no relief. And, you know, you finally get it up onto the green in 2, and you got a long way to go, and you're in trouble if it, you know, you miss and it tends to roll off the other way into the bunker or into the fringe. Who knows?
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a grind, and
it's going to be tough.
And I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I love seeing these pros struggle, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, I just want to see, you know, close competitive golf. I don't know if it needs to get ridiculous out there.
Yeah,
it's nice to torture them once in a while, but I guess if it gets ridiculous, you know, obviously these guys are professionals and they're competing for, you know, their money and their livelihood. So I'm sure they get annoyed. But I think they were out there today, Monday, and reviewing the course, and I think they were even going to maybe slow the greens down just a twitch.
Interesting.
Yeah, you don't want it, you know, you do want it competitive. If everyone's, you know, missing by an inch and then the putt is rolling 20 feet by, it's like, okay, this is just kind of silly at this point.
Yeah, you don't need it to be ridiculous. But this is a pretty big field. Actually, I don't even know how many players are in. Is it 144?
I think it's 156.
156, yeah, that would make sense. Because I'm looking at some names and just some of the odds further down the board here. I'm like, my goodness, this is a big field.
Yeah, and you have a lot of guys who are just kind of, they're not even like tour pros, so they
Right.
probably don't really have a chance at winning it. But
Just happy to be there because you can go to the U.S. Open qualifiers
Yeah.
and get in that way.
one guy that's really far down the board, and it's kind of interesting. He was paying 1,000 to 1 to win the PGA Championship, and I threw $1 on him. And that's Davis Riley, and he ended up in second place
Oh,
at
yeah.
the PGA. I was like, "Oh my god, if I win this is incredible."
It's because you texted us, and that's
yeah.
why I didn't win.
I know. I got too excited. I'm like, oh, that's the one rule. You're not supposed to say I've got a guy that's winning until you got to just hold on
Right.
until it's in the bag. But blew my load too early.
Could be the guy, though, if you're doing one of those old-fashioned box pools. Thanks for the sound effects, Mike. Is that how it sounds?
I got a box pool here.
Yeah, so for box pools, if you got Davis Riley,
Yeah.
maybe that could be one that'll move you up the board because someone else might not pick it.
Yeah,
But
potentially.
of course, everyone listens to this pod, so everyone's going to pick him now.
That's true.
I got way down there, Matt Voigt. Matt Voigt is a dentist. He's 33 years old from Indiana.
No way.
Yeah, he used to be a caddy at Oakmont, and then he qualified.
Local knowledge.
Yeah, so also Terry James, also a great dentist.
Terry James, also a great dentist.
could
Look at the
be-
shout outs he's getting.
That's 2 dentists on one show.
That's a lot.
That is 2 dentists, 1 golf ball.
Mason Howell, he's 17
years old.
years old.
Oh, I thought I saw him at the qualifier. He lit it up. I believe he was playing in Florida at the U.S. Open qualifier,
Yeah.
and he was
Consecutive-
torching the course.
Consecutive 63s, 18 under.
That it.
That
Only 3 amateurs who made it through.
Well, I'm looking at one,
Is that
Preston
true?
Summerhays. I don't know, because if you're a
Great
college
name.
guy, you're still, great name. And I believe Summerhays is synonymous with golf in some circles. Like I thought whether his dad or his uncle or his grandfather, or maybe all of them played pro or were pretty damn good at golf. I forget which university he goes to in the States, but he's been having a decent year. So Preston Summerhays, is he going to win? No. But maybe if you can see something for a guy to make a cut, or again, if you have one of those box pools and he pops up in one of those and you don't know some names, maybe Preston Summerhays is a guy that you want to go on there.
He's at
Summer
Arizona
Hayes is-
State. That's
Arizona
a,
State,
That's
okay.
a top golf school.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Great practice facility at ASU
I
as
think
well.
it is, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
great practice facility. But
assumingly-
again, it sounds like it's going to be one of the top guys that's going to win it. We mentioned it for the Masters. We mentioned it for the PGA. It's most likely going to be one of those top guys that's going to get it. But you might find the Davis Rileys in there that you want to roll in that box pool or in the top 5 or in the top 10, even like a Sam Burns. If you can get a good number on him to top 10, top 20,
Yep.
roll the dice. I literally just locked in my bet for Sam Burns to top 20. Why not? Maybe cash out early. We'll see. I don't know.
Sometimes those are the better bets. You sprinkle a little bit on a bunch of those, you could come out ahead.
Maybe double your money. What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that at all.
No, throw it in a parlay. 2 or 3 leg parlay. Get some top 20s going. I know they got some
4
boosts on
legs.
some of these. 4 legs?
Four
I know
legs.
that's a dog. As my grandpa used to say, that man's more crooked than a dog's hind legs. Mike likes that one.
Yeah, because he was yelling at me.
How crooked you were? That
Yeah.
posture's more crooked than a dog's hind legs, Mike.
Yeah.
I don't know why my grandpa's got an accent now. He'll be 97 this year. Shout out to Gramps. He had a fall over the weekend.
Oh no.
Cut his head open pretty good,
Jeez.
but no concussion. Yeah, he's doing fine.
Thanks.
He's doing fine.
Gotta be careful out there.
The legend,
Yeah.
yeah. Because he's like, I got 7 beer in the fridge. I'm like, okay, but he wasn't drinking. He wanted me to come drink some.
All of a beer.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh, what
Nice-
do you got
nice sound
there?
effects.
Section 6.
This time we got Section 6 Brewing, IPA.
They're out of Brandon.
Oh, cool.
They're all out
Yeah.
of Brandon.
And we're heading west this weekend.
Yeah, you want to get
For
into?
the,
You can mention the Harambe. Might
West
as well.
Man.
Westman. 10. Well, it's
Killarney.
like southwest man.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's still Westman. Killarney. Playing Pleasant Valley, Killarney, and
Apparently Pleasant Valley, they've been jerking us around, so
everyone's been jerking us around.
Yeah.
And Glenborough.
yeah.
Uh,
Glenborough's been great.
top
so far.
25
Can't wait for
9-hole
Glenborough.
in North America.
Right.
It was in a book. It was
Get outta
published.
here. Really?
Absolutely.
North America?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, and you guys are going to play it.
Yep.
I reached out to Patrick
You
Law
did,
today for some caddy notes.
Oh, for Glenborough or for all the courses?
yeah.
Okay, specifically for Glenborough.
Specifically for
So
Glenborough.
remind us about what Harambe is. Patrick Law, who
Oh,
at
Patrick
Dosa National,
Law.
Minnedosa.
Yeah. The
pro
PGA
there.
of Manitoba's finest professional golfer.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you guys going out and supporting Westman. Some Westman golf.
Yeah, it's good to get some
I'm
golf
excited.
tourism in.
Killarney's nice town right on the lake.
Mhm.
Yeah, excited to get out there.
Yeah,
I think Glenboro might have the biggest camel statue in Manitoba.
Nice.
I'm not sure about that though. We'll have to check that out.
Cool. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Picture.
Yeah, a lot of small towns have big statues of random stuff.
They
It's
certainly
kind of what
do.
they're known for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about tiny things? You should get like a
Yeah, like
center for ants
the tiniest camel in Manitoba
in the world.
in the world. Yeah,
That would be a big.
check that out.
That would be a big draw.
yeah, I think so.
Get the magnifying glass out, see if you can see it.
Yeah.
Some other names I'm going to throw out there. I mean, Sepp Straka, I kind of like his number, 50-1.
Sepp's just he's been great. He's been great for like a year. He's playing extremely well. He's still just not quite in that elite category, but statistically, and he's good finishes. Sepp Straka, the big Austrian.
Big Austrian and the big Englishman, Tommy Fleetwood. I don't know if he's big. I think he's actually short. But he always seems to have really good odds to win. He doesn't win.
Just can't win.
Yeah.
Always plays well.
Yeah.
Near top
And yet his
10s,
number is still
top
40-1.
25s.
He's got a better number than Sepp.
He's been I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. You'd think he'd at least win one of these like PGA Tour events, one of the smaller ones, but he just never quite finishes the job.
So is Englishman, like Mike Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Can't finish.
What was that
finish.
sound effect again? We're going to get banned.
Use it. Put that on your soundboard right now.
There is a Jordan Smith. I believe he qualified at the English U.S. Open qualifier. So a combination of our
Ooh,
names. I
that's
might sprinkle some
crazy.
cheese on him. Maybe a top 20
Yeah.
for Jordan Smith. I think he played pretty well at one of the tournaments. I think it was last year. But anyways, I just like his name. I think he's a DP
Jordan
World Tour
Smith.
guy.
Yeah. Is he South African? I think he might be.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I
I
don't
didn't.
know.
I didn't dive that deep. I just recognized his name, and I knew I'm pretty sure he qualified there. Another guy I saw practicing out on the range. He's got 110-1. Tony Finau.
Tony.
Is he more interested in something else? I don't know.
I don't know. He's a big hitter. I
Yeah.
just don't see him winning a major. I don't know. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. I
Like
just don't
Justin
see him being
Thomas.
that kind of guy.
Even though he's won majors.
Yeah. JT. Actually, one name just reminded me, Jordan Spieth. Sorry, I just got really excited. I
Yeah.
didn't to yell at everybody, but Jordan Spieth is actually he wasn't always known as a big hitter off the tee, but he's actually started to really crush it off the tee, and we know he's a good putter. So
And a great recovery player.
a great recovery player. So his number it never gets too low because people love betting on Jordan Spieth. Everyone loves Jordan Spieth, but 50-1. I don't know. Throw a couple kumquats on that, a few shekels even. See what happens.
Absolutely. Great recovery. 175 bunkers on the course.
175.
175.
Wow.
They have this one that they call the church pews. Have you
Yep,
seen this?
I've
So
seen
it's
that.
just a giant bunker, and it's got like these lines basically that are just in the way.
Yeah.
So
Grass
very interesting.
pieces there.
Yeah,
that
they
kinda
look like church benches. So that's why they call it that.
It's like 100 yards long and like 60 yards wide.
That's right.
Yeah, pretty
Trouble
amazing.
all the way.
Just for comparison, I looked this up because St. Andrews has 112 bunkers, Royal Portrush has 60, and then Whistling Straits apparently has over 1,000 bunkers. So
Get out of here. They're just
Is that a
choosing
typo?
like little dunes, little things. That Chat GPT.
yeah,
David Hearn installed 1,000 bunkers at
Whistling
Whistling Straits.
Oh, wow.
anyways.
Yeah, we'll have to do a pod on David Hearn.
bunkers.
For long shots, I don't even know if it's worth to get into some of the long shots.
Davis Riley was my
You're-
long
yeah.
shot. I'm not going any
Like Tom
longer than
Hoagie,
that.
maybe. Like
Yeah.
Tom Hoagie's been actually pretty good in a box pool.
Yeah, Tom Hoagie's good.
Yeah.
Like he's a good golfer. I don't see him winning this, but yeah,
No.
250-1 is what I saw. Man,
Maybe
That's
make a cut.
That's like a huge number for Tom Hoagie because he's pretty well established and pretty good.
Siwoo?
Ugly as hell.
Siwoo or
No, not Siwoo. Everyone loves Siwoo.
Siwoo going to come after you.
Yeah, he was up there, right, in the PGA.
Yeah,
for a
he was
little
one of my
bit.
picks for the PGA. I don't know how he ended up finishing, but he's been
He was
playing
up there
well.
for a little bit.
Yeah,
I
he
thought.
was. He tends to have like a blow up hole every now and then. We'll get like a 10. It's just one of those guys.
Yeah, I don't think that would be allowed or go well here or anywhere, I guess.
Yeah, true.
You're thinking, Mike. What are you thinking?
Nothing.
No, there's
No.
nothing. No other notes on that
I have
large piece of paper.
I got like 4 paragraphs on a stimp meter.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's
read
hear
some
about
of them.
it. Yeah, you
We're here.
listed off what it is.
Yeah, 'cause
14 and a half. So
I
tell us
don't know.
what that means.
Yeah.
So I guess the stimp meter, I don't know if you guys have seen this. No. So it's basically, and it's a very simple piece of measuring technology. Who invented it? This is Edward Stimpson. That's
Oh.
the guy's name. And he invented it after attending the 1935 U.S. Open at Oakmont.
No way.
Yeah. So it's basically a piece of metal, V-shaped, and they place the ball in like a kind of flat area at the top of this 36-inch metal thing, and then they raise it, slowly raise it, and then the ball will fall off once gravity pulls it down, and then they measure the stimps by
This is
number
on the
of-
green. They'll
on
do
the
this on the
green.
green. Yeah.
the number of feet that the ball rolls out is the number of stimps that it rolls out to.
Okay.
So a higher number means faster green.
Yeah, so a billiard table is about 60 stimps apparently.
60.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And then like asphalt parking lot was 60 stimps.
okay.
Um,
How about like a curling rink?
they didn't do that in the video that I watched.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would assume that'd be about
It's kind of bumpy.
50. Yeah.
Kind of bumpy though.
They did a tennis court and that was lower than the parking lot. It was like 25.
Okay.
But it was it seemed like a paved tennis court, not like a clay or grass tennis court.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So what's a typical stimp for
Yeah.
your average course?
Well, good thing funny you ask. Most everyday golfers encounter greens with a stimp reading in 8 to 10 range.
Okay.
Most PGA events are about 12.
I see. So if you're playing Southwood the day after, the championship, it's probably running pretty quick.
Yeah, it's what that was one of my favorite times to play there. Was either just before,
Yeah.
so the Sunday before they close the course, or the Monday after, and it's a cool feeling to get to play that because they grow out the rough a little bit. And Breezy Bend is the host of the Manitoba Open this year, so
Yes.
Southwood was the host for the past, I believe it was 5 years. And they're starting to narrow those fairways. They're starting to grow out the rough. Like the greens are looking good. Breezy's in really good shape this year. Getting ready for the pros,
Really?
PGA Tour Americas to come in and play the Manitoba Open end of August. It's
go.
going to be a tough
Exciting.
test because it's a tight course, and they're making it even tighter. It'll be interesting to see how the
Maybe
pros
go there.
attack it.
Maybe Friday or Saturday we'll go watch some golf.
Yeah.
Sunday even.
And it's great. The guys you see win, they're out there competing on the PGA
Yeah,
Tour.
Shipley,
right? So these-
Springer,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Finau,
Exactly.
all the Canadians.
And it's just it's a great way to see like up and coming golfers. And you don't think in Winnipeg that you get to see pro golfers very often. So
And they're good.
good chance.
It is a good time to go out there. Just grab your friends, head out there, and they always put on a good show. So they got Baldy from Southwood. He is the tournament director. I believe that is his title. So he's handled it the past couple of years at Southwood, and while helping out at Southwood, he's also doing PGA Tour America's stuff with Breezy to kind of keep
Very
everything in check. So they got a good man running it. I'm sure it's going to be a great tournament, as is the U.S. Open. I don't know if you want to throw out any other names for the U.S. Open. Some of the other ones I see on the board. Terrell Hatton, again, a live guy. He can hit the ball. Is he going to come through? I don't know. Brooks Koepka, we haven't mentioned his name.
Brooks, I feel like he's just lost at this point. I don't know. I feel
A lot of people saying, well, the rumor mill is saying he's going to come back to PGA Tour.
well, there's a lot
Depending
of
on what
talk
happens.
going on out there about the PGA Tour kind of rejoining with Live, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Only time will tell.
Only time will
A tale as old as time. See how many other cliches we can put in here.
Talking about tails. I got a crime and paranormal.
Oh yes.
Okay,
Oh,
let's
thank
hear it.
goodness we didn't forget about that.
Oh no, never. I would have made sure. I did lots of real research.
I think there's a sound
on
effect
this.
in here that has like a paranormal thing. Let's see if I can find it. Nope, that's the top hat. Yeah, there it is. There we go. Little paranormal activity. You can hear. You didn't have headphones on.
We
but
can't hear it.
I put a little,
Is it
little
like a
paranormal
ghost,
activity.
or
Yeah,
what is
kind of
it?
like a ghost.
Yeah, okay.
Nice.
It goes like, well, maybe it's not like a ghost. It was there. Here it is again. Just goes da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Oh.
That is spooky.
Kind of spooky. All right, go for it,
I'm
Mike.
spooked out of my bones right now. So no reported. No reported murders have taken place.
Thank God.
This is ridiculous. Someone get him a napkin.
There was a local report of a man being injured by someone throwing a pumpkin from a moving vehicle.
What?
Like a
and-
Sleepy Hollow kind of thing.
Yeah, just threw it out.
Headless Horseman throwing
Yeah,
pumpkins at Oakmont?
That's right.
Is Sleepy Hollow in Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania.
I'm not sure about that.
No
fact check
no
that one.
reported paranormal activity. So obviously,
So you just wasted our time.
Ichabod
obviously the club has a pretty good communications manager, and that person's not letting any dirt get out there.
Maybe that's what it is. They're
But
throwing everything under the rug.
That being said, the Oakmont superintendent in the 90s, Mark Coons, was coined the Butcher of Oakmont.
Why?
Well, so there's lots of debate about the trees. So the original course design was like an inland link style course, and then they added up like 5,000 trees, and then I guess in the 90s they wanted to bring back that original course design. So they apparently the superintendent had a tree thinning campaign at like 4 a.m. and they had the headlights from their trucks, and they removed 500 trees before the sunrise.
Wow.
Yeah, and then
That's putting in some work.
and they cleaned it all up, and then obviously there was some upset members at that point. But
Kidding. Because did we talk about the designer of this course?
we did not. No,
On
that
the
was
show.
before we started
Okay.
recording. I don't have it, but it was Fawns. But then, and so I believe he
Only
was-
course
he was
designed.
he was like a steel tycoon
Okay.
from Pennsylvania.
That makes sense
Well,
because it's
yeah,
close to Pittsburgh, isn't it?
Steelers,
Yes.
Pittsburgh.
Steel Town.
And, so then he
Steel Town Ford, no free ads.
I think he had
Selkirk.
2 sons that were avid golfers, and he wanted to
Avid Golf, no free ads.
he wanted to create an 18-hole course for them to play at. I believe one of his sons used to be the president of the USGA. Anyway, so that's probably why he only designed that one course. I think he owned it and fronted a lot of the
Yeah,
money.
Henry C. Fawns. Wow.
Henry C. Fawns. I think I'm getting that correct.
Yeah,
Is
I
he-
just open it up here.
Is he a steel tycoon?
That I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the details about his life or any paranormal activity.
Yeah.
That's all I got on that.
I used to play steel tycoon instead of roller coaster tycoon. Anyway, so that was some interesting information there. 10th time that Oakmont has hosted the U.S. Open.
The 10th time.
The 10th time.
Wow.
So
It's going to be exciting golf. I'm excited for it. If anyone else wants to throw another name, AWOC, you're looking at some
I
digits
just
here.
got one more
Yeah.
name just because he played well at the Canadian Open, and he has a history of good golf. Is Cameron Young.
Yeah, Cam Young.
Yeah, he hadn't been playing well for a while now, but I don't know. Maybe you're going to be early if you're betting on Cam Young, but it seems like he's bouncing back and coming back into form, and he's got that high ceiling. You know, like he's a high top end player. So, you get him at 100-1 or throw a top 20 or something like that. Cam Young, he's an interesting one.
Yeah, that is a good one. Well, and anyone else got anything else?
no, just a
That's
dramatic qualifying for Cam Young. It was like a 5-player whole playoff, 5-player playoff. And then I think Homa, Fowler, and a few others were in that qualifier.
Yeah, they were all in that qualifier. The longest day in golf, they dub it, is people trying to qualify for the U.S. Open, which is pretty impressive stuff. So, yeah, shout out to that, to winning a playoff.
Yeah.
That many
Guts.
guys, that many quality
He's
guys.
got guts.
He's got guts. He's got steel. Steeltown Ford.
That's all it takes sometimes.
This guy's got guts, that's for sure. That's Bryce Matlashewski. He's an investment advisor with Endeavor Wealth Management, part of IA Private Wealth, and a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund. You can contact Bryce at 204-515-3446. You can also check him out in our link tree. Just go to our Facebook, Instagram, any of our social medias. Click on our bio, and our link tree will come up. You'll see Bryce Matlashewski. You'll see some information about the HBH Charity Classic, and so much more is in our link tree. And feel free to DM us if you want to play in the Stars Tournament coming up later this month at Glendale. U.S. Open, going to be a fun time. We'll see how tough it's going to be. Looking forward to it. Hopefully you make some money. And if you don't, well, you can't blame us. Hopefully we entertained you for the past 50 minutes. And have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, evening, no matter where you are. Bye-bye.
So long.
And you can count on me waiting for you in the parking lot.